Good afternoon. I have been a driver for your service for the last 2 years, and it has genuinely been one of the best jobs I've ever had, even if your communication channels leave a bit to be desired. I seriously don't even know who this will go to, or what the proper channels would be if I wanted to pursue it that way. But I think that a letter like this needs to be made public anyway. I can get past many disagreements about the company for which I am employed, and I'm not the kind of person who needs other people to always agree with me. Honestly, as much of a maverick as I am, if I made that a general rule, I wouldn't have much of any functional relationships. But there are lines we must draw. We must stand for something, some principle beyond which we will not pass, or our lives are meaningless. After what I have just seen, I believe I have arrived at that line, and even though I fear that it might cost me my job, I feel that I must speak out about it now, because as much as I have a responsibility to feed and clothe my children, I have a greater responsibility to set a moral example for them. I have seen the news reports that UberEats will be canceling delivery fees for Black-owned businesses and will be specifically promoting Black-owned businesses in some way. I'm not going to bother investigating the details of this because they don't matter to me. Whatever they are, this is, to my eyes, a horrifying development. Yes, I'm aware that there are other delivery services I could just move to, but besides the problem that there's no guarantee that they themselves wouldn't just adopt a similar policy, and besides the fact that it's not necessarily so easy to just pick up and move to another service, the only way to fix our society is to openly express our grievances and try to work them out. And so, it would be wrong if I did not first attempt to voice my opposition to what I see as the extreme wrongheadedness of this course of action. I will presume that this new policy is a reaction to the recent death of George Floyd, a black man, at the hands of the police, and the public outcry that has resulted from it. Forgetting for the moment the fact that probably very few people know anything substantial whatsoever about this incident, and even assuming that the narrative about his death and the cultural forces that engendered it are completely true, assumptions that are all questionable to say the least, making this the justification to use my honest 100% customer approval rating employment with you to help continue to split this country into along racial lines is nothing less to me than ghastly, appalling, unjustified, and shameful. This is a policy of literal racial discrimination. You are charging different businesses different fees based on the color of the skin of their owners, which is exactly the idea that I thought we were supposed to be opposing as a society, and which was behind all of the protests over Floyd's death in the first place. This move forces me into a position of either supporting a policy of blatant racial discrimination against my customers, or accepting unemployment and watching my kids starve. I cannot describe how abused and betrayed I feel at being forced to make such a choice. I don't believe that anybody at this point, no matter their ideological predispositions, would claim that we don't have serious societal structural problems that need to be addressed immediately. In that vein, we all have different opinions on what those problems are and what different solutions to them we should consider pursuing. I have a long personal history of pursuing my own ideals through various forms of activism, art, and other endeavors. But I also have a lifetime of customer service experience. And as much as I often badly wish to move on from it, I also sincerely cherish it, because it is a place in which we can do more good for the world than we realize. There are few better ways to evolve past the worst aspects of human tribalism than to work in a position in which you are afforded the chance every single day to treat each human being with equal respect, regardless of any particulars of their existence. Here's how it works. You accept the order. You drive to the restaurant. You pick up the order, thank the employee, and wish them a good day. You put the order in the car and drive it to the customer, quickly but safely. You follow whatever specific instructions the customer has given and communicate with them if necessary. You deliver the order to them per their instructions. You smile through the mask you're required to wear. You thank them for choosing UberEats, wish them a good day, close out the order, and drive away to the next one. Not one of those steps is any different because of a person's race, gender, religion, sexuality, age, eye color, shoe size, or even political affiliation. This is why I have always seriously considered customer service to be something of a sacred calling. At one job, I even gave lectures on the topic. It is the one chance that many of us have to make the world a better place, one human interaction at a time. It is a small, but very real and very important opportunity to treat every person you encounter with equal respect, equal dignity, as nothing more than a fellow human whose needs you have been entrusted to fulfill. And now, because of this policy, I can't even do that anymore. I am now required by my position to support an economic interaction which treats some people in the customer service process differently than others because of nothing more than their skin color, in the name of fighting racism. This, to my eyes, will do absolutely no good for the world whatsoever. I do not see this as justice. I see this as revenge. And not even well-aimed revenge, that some are pushing and some are acceding to, and that I am now being asked to support if I wish to keep my job. Whatever good you think this will do, it will not. The way to fight racism is not, has never been, and will never be more racism. The way to fight racism is to remember the individual dignity and worth of every human being. If there is something which is interfering with this recognition and resulting in some groups of people becoming aggrieved or oppressed for one reason or another, then yes, absolutely, address it. Find the problem, confront it, and fix it. This doesn't do any of that. It will only make everything worse, and you are now making me be a party to it if I wish for me and my family to live. Because of the extreme financial distress that suddenly being an unemployed father in this already chaotic environment would entail, I will continue for now. I will also not bring this up verbally with anyone in the UberEats chain, although if a customer or restaurant does, I don't feel I have any obligation to bite my tongue about my feelings about this with them. But I am making this letter public, largely because I gather that I probably speak for many others with these words. But even if were only I that felt this way, this to me is too important a development to be met with submissive silence. I am disgusted at having my dedication to being a responsible father used against me in this way. And if I can't stop it, I'm going to at least let the world know it. Thank you for considering my employee feedback. Thank you for your time. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have deliveries to do.